Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do my full coverage foundation routine. I have normal to dry skin. I use this primer and this foundation routine in the winter as well as in the summer. It seems to work well for both. First of all, I'm going in with my Too Faced Hangover RX primer. It's infused with coconut water and they don't test on animals, so it's a really great primer. It does a really good job of smoothing out my skin and hydrating as well. Then I'm going in with my NYX Color Correcting Concealer Pot in the shade Peach. And I'm going to put this underneath my eyes with my Wet n Wild concealer brush. And I'm only putting it underneath my eyes where I have my dark circles and nothing lower than that, like on my cheeks, because then it's not going to cancel out the darkness.
Like you trying to get stuck in it.
Now I'm just going in with my Real Techniques beauty sponge and I'm blending that under eye concealer color corrector out, and I'm blending it into the rest of my face and make sure it's all nice and even and you don't have any creases or wrinkles underneath your eyes. Now I'm just going in with my MAC Soft Ochre paint pot and I'm putting that on my nose and on my chin with that same Wet n Wild concealer brush. I'm just putting this wherever my foundation tends to come off of, and I'm going to buff that out with that same sponge as well.
Stuck in the air. If you feeling so lit and don't care, shorty beat in the face in the mirror, up in the air. I want you to jump. Jump. I want you to jump.
I'm just taking my Infallible Pro Matte Foundation and putting a bunch on the back of my hand and pressing it into the skin with that same Real Techniques beauty sponge. It's a very good foundation. It's not really matte, it's more of a satin finish. It's not drying on my skin in any way, but it's definitely not like a dewy finish either. And I'm just pressing this in all over the face. Now I am going in with my Tarte Shape Tape concealers. I use a really light shade and then a shade that matches more of my foundation. And I'm just putting this a little bit lower than my under eye and blending it upwards. I'm doing the light shade first and then the darker one a little underneath it. And I'm taking my beauty blender and spraying it with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus and blending this all into my under eye and up on the sides of my nose as well as my temples.
Shorty beat in the face in the mirror, up in the air. I want you to jump. Up in the air, I want you to jump. Jump.
Then I'm going to be taking that exact same concealer and highlighting the bridge of my nose, my chin, and then my smile lines, and then blending this out with the same beauty blender I used as earlier.
Like you trying to get stuck in the air. I want you to jump like you trying to get stuck in the air.
Now I'm going in with my Airspun translucent powder and baking my under eyes, but I'm not putting too much powder on there. I'm kind of buffing it into the skin rather than just placing it on there. And I put this on my chin, around my nose, places that I need to make sure my concealer doesn't move anywhere I put the concealer basically. And this is a really good powder. I pick this up more than I pick up my Laura Mercier powder. You can find this at the drugstore. It's fairly cheap and I think it works amazing. Please excuse my facial expressions. I definitely wear my emotions on my face. It's something I need to work on. Anyways, I'm taking a stippling brush from Eco Tools and just taking the rest of that powder I have and blending it all over my face to set the rest of the liquids, as well as dusting off that extra baking powder from underneath the eyes.
it chump. Chump.